Babes, how we doing? What's up? Another chapter. Sometimes like this type of chapter, I'm almost like not even wanting to do a review because it's just like there's not a lot. We can, continue to pick at straws. We can look at like some little things, but every chapter is not going to come with a revelation that is debatably worth a video, but here I am anyway. Um we don't have a break at least. It always seems like the ones that don't have a revelation are the ones that don't have a break, but at the same time, when we get a break, it's almost like there's always a revelation that has to come from the chapter before, and that's just not always the case. Anyway, everyone is knocked out. What I found interesting about that for sure was I don't think Kizaru or Lucci are knocked out, and I think Kaku is probably struggling, but I think these guys are awake. And I find it interesting that Kizaru is on one of these ships and he's just kind of chilling. He's just kind of like, eh. He's like, his heart's, I mean, we know his heart is out of it, but he doesn't want to do a damn thing. I think that Haki was super strong, but I don't think it's strong enough to knock out someone like Kizaru. The Vice Admiral's sure, but Kizaru's kind of on his own level, and I think that he is fine. Even though it sent those other guys back, they seem to be fine, at least mind-wise, and the stuff with Emu is kind of its own thing. But the Straw Hats reunite with the Giants and they head to Elbaf, and it seems like this is what truly ended this arc, that they're actually finally leaving. And most of the chapter is in regards to Oda covering his ass with Vegapunk, who, the reason this kind of bothers me is one, the title of this chapter being the Void Fortnite, I thought shit was about to go down. I read that and I was like, brother in Christ, what is Emu about to do, just out of pure rage? But that's not the case. We're getting Vegapunks, and his Stella's covering his own ass. Just researching everything, starting to understand that, hey, this energy is not correct. Another thing that I found interesting was them talking about how the energy of the Seraphims is supposed to consistently rise, which I think might play a part later, but that might just have to do with their age. And I know when they come of age, they get obviously to their full strength. And a lot of these guys, if not all of them, are babies at the moment. But if they have like a never-ending like inflation in strength, that'd be really bad. That would be not good, because I think we can almost guarantee that those guys are going to turn into enemies. Maybe not all of them. They might decide to do something fun with it, but no. They find out real quick. It takes them a whole page to find out that it's York that did it. And then they're like, okay, well, what do we do about this? And they come up with a plan to show you that it wasn't just all luck. It was something that he had planned from the get-go. But Vegapunk is that dude. He is a G because he was able to plan and plot around himself, around his own greed and envy, and come to the conclusion that there's no point in even telling York or capturing York, because what's done is already done. They already have the information of us researching the Void. There's nothing. And he's like, but what I can do is die. What I can do is die, but make it a cool death. And he did. He's something that he says to Sanji is, he was like, I think me dying will set it all into motion. And he's right. He literally put the final chapter, final page of the story on blast. Like, he put us into motion for everything that's about to happen for the One Piece. But they set this all up. I don't know exactly how they're able to hide all of it from York before deleting their memories, but it looks like she just didn't really look into it too much, because her own memories are kind of, she's messing around too much with that, and she's being a little too sneaky to maybe do too much research into the rest of them. But they are able to delete the memory and come up with a plan to just everything that was going to happen. And it's funny because this happened right before Luffy and them came here, like literally right before. And he wrote it all down, and he's like, they know what you're doing, they know all this. And all three of those Vegapunks are like, holy shit. And they come to find out, like, hey, these people are coming, Saturn's coming, shit's going down. And then he's just like, because he's like, his past self that before he deleted his memory was like, no, we're gonna die. And he's like, you need to be cool with dying. Put your faith in me and die, which is insane. But they're just like, that guy's a genius. And he's definitely right. And all we get really at the end is him saying that he wants the Straw Hats to be the one to find the One Piece, which whoop-de-doo-dah, but it is pretty sweet. It looks like we're going to Elbaf. Them carrying around Vegapunk's dead body is interesting. I don't know exactly what they plan to do with it. That guy's literally just dead there on the ship. The in-between. There's definitely going to be an in-between, it seems like. But I don't know what they're going to do. I feel like it's just going to be a lot of the information reaching their ears. They could do something with Law. They could do something with a lot of people, but I don't really think they're going to. I think, like I said 2 or 3 chapters ago, they're going to really focus on all those characters. And I think for the most part, we know where most of these guys are set up in the story. It's just a matter of who's doing what and who's going where. But yeah, it looks like we're just going to be headed to Elbaf. I would assume we're going to get there soon. But Oda was close. I think I nailed it, though. I did say the beginning of summer, but it looks like Egghead is going to end at the end of the summer, which it looks like it's done. I think next week will probably be another wrap up with something to give us a little this and that. And I think the traveling is going to start to become a lot quicker. It's going to start to look like House of Dragon as opposed to Game of Thrones in terms of traveling. I think that they're going to land on Elbaf pretty quick because I think Oda does want to like get a move on with things. But I just don't see Elbaf being quick at all. I mean, we got to talk with so many different giants and Saul and what's Loki about and do they have the Poneglyph or what information do they have about the man with the black sails? There's just a lot. Not a lot in this chapter. We just got a nice conclusion to Vegapunk, who I thoroughly enjoyed Vegapunk throughout the entirety of what we got out of him. All the way from Ohara with his big ass head, his interactions with Dragon, to his interactions with Caesar and Mr. Vinsmoke himself. But Vegapunk was a really good character. I think for a character to be this hyped up throughout the entirety of the story, because they were mentioning him way back. I'm reading Sabaody right now, and they just like left, and he had already been mentioned already, like previously to that, but they were even hinting to him where Frankie was at with Baltimore, and I'm like, damn, like they've been talking about this guy for a minute. I think that he really did live up to the hype, being the smartest man in the room, and what part Lilith has to play now, I'm not sure, but they do have another genius on board, and I guess we'll just have to figure out what happens. But Elbaf, I mean, it looks like Usopp's going to play a big part. We've been saying that. It looks like it's going to happen. But Robin is also going to play a large part because her and Saul have been researching this for basically this entire time. And we might finally get some drops between those two because she doesn't really want to communicate to the crew what she knows, but that'll be a big part of it. I'm excited for it. No break next week. I'll be in Canada, so you won't get a video out of me. But be safe, enjoy yourselves, and go be smart like Vegapunk somewhere. Doing something.